Actually, we are not late, but we were late in coming into the hall. But by starting the program, and if this was a test, Bahari had passed. I pray this attitudinal change will take us, Nigeria, away from the countries that have the culture of being identified with something shamefully called African time. We will not do, and may it be. Amen. Amen. The representative of the President, Commander-in-Chief, His Royal Highness, our elder and father, Chief Ironsi, the National President and Commander General of Bahari, Chief Oloba, Chairman BSG, Dr. Ibrahim Dauda, Alhaji Abubakar Ojerio, senior officers of Bahari here present, distinguished awardees, seniors and juniors, Professor Ibere Oriaku, the National Director of Planning, Bahari, my friend Barrister Ngosu and his representative, ladies and gentlemen. When a man is asleep, it is easy to wake him up. But when the same man decides to pretend to sleep, it will be difficult to wake him up. And I will say this also, when greedy class and the corrupt decides to exploit the masses in whichever community and in whichever country, and when in the same exploitation of cheating the poor, the corrupt and this greedy class receives reactions from the poor, they are quick to say that what they have done is business after all. But when the masses react, the greedy class, the corrupt, are quick to say that that is violence. Nigeria is at a point where these examples are very much around with us. I know we have short time. I'm going to be quick, and I'm going to just scratch over some few issues, believing that that will stimulate us into looking at genuine issues that are standing as obstacles, and also that will kindle hope in us, so that by time and gazing into tomorrow, our dreams will continue to drip in with successes. Now, I will say also again, before I go into the subject matter, that when you decide to embark on a journey, and you want to go from one particular village to the other, and if the distance is a bit long, and if you must take coconut and drink the water, so that you will go to your destination intact with energy, for you to do well into the business that has taken you there, you should be prepared to climb the palm tree, pull the coconut, and prepare to crack it, break it gently, take the water, take the coconut. You will remain malnourished for you to get there. Mere looking at the coconut will not give you the water and the coconut. Nigerians, it's time to pull the coconut, drink the water, get malnourished, and look into the future with zeal. We have it, we can do it. Would there be any perfection with any individuals, groups, institutions, or countries, including those that have been referred to as referrals for all nations to look at? There is no perfection. The perfection lies with the Creator. But attainment of perfection is a goal that will always be shifted forward. And if we must attain it, we must be on our feet, and we must hold wide. We must be seen to be realistic and have realism in the field as goals to attain. Now, I will start this short remarks. Initially, I was told I'm coming to talk about the effect of corruption in Nigeria's economy. That will take us hours in the real sense of it. It's a wide topic, so I decided to draw little examples from some places and then ending it up with hours, believing that the referrals will be relevant for the forum today. I will start with the examples of China. When the chairman of the Communist Party, Mao Zedong of China, at a particular point in time, when China was being complimented with hopelessness, there is something called good eggs. Every egg at the surface looks good, but you cannot know. On the other hand, there is also a group of people called rock diamonds. You may detest them at the surface, but down deep, that is what the entire world is looking for. In Nigeria, we have both. The fact that an individual or individuals have come glowing at the surface might not necessarily be what you want. But when you get closer and subject them to test, you will be able to know the difference from what you want and what you are seeing from afar. So also rough diamonds, people you may detest from the surface, but not knowing that they are as precious as what any ambition or desire might look at. In Nigeria, we are complimented for the two. What our society should do, particularly institutions and elders and the young associations across Nigeria should do, is to learn to get closer, have interactive sessions, subject people to trial so that you'll be able to separate between good eggs and rough diamonds. And by the time we be able to show the farmers and have quality voting, quality people into power, so that when an individual, as it is today, looking at the president, his doctrine, his thinking, his vision and subsequent submissions for this country, and then when we keep him aside and look at the complementary forces across the country, from electees to appointees, you will know that the President, Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria, will require some certain characters to be molded properly, irrespective of how close some of them are. Some are good eggs, some are rough diamonds. My prayer is that the President will have the wisdom to be able to look at the composition of what is complementing councils and advisory bodies, so that eggs and barrels, rough diamonds will now be separated, be classified and be energized to give Nigeria the services we require, so that his vision and submissions will now be seen to be complementing this country and be complementing his tenure of office as president and a blessing unto Nigeria. All I will say is that shamefully, if you take in this hall as a micro-Nigerian, the most senior person by age or by status will be able to now exemplify traces of corruption in our streets, in our houses, in institutions, everywhere in Nigeria. Evidently, there are traces of corruption. But if I take an individual from this hall, right here as we are, you can just see production if we go by the history of what we have, what we are wearing or not, you will see traces of corruption. I start with myself. The cap I'm wearing is a local cap, yes. What of the thread? Local? No, important. The needle it was done with. Local made? No, important. The wristwatch I'm wearing, important. It's a shame. Our institutions have been refused to work because some people are empowering themselves to teach. This is in support of the submission of the first speaker, who also said that talked about the effect of corruption in our judicial system. From even the currency we spend, you will realize that our currency is introduced not from economic indices, not from designing, but they were introduced to address either personal interest or to service a particular group against the majority, thereby throwing the poor from true bargaining in the market or against market forces. 1,000 naira note is a desire. What was the genesis for 1,000 naira? Against security, so that rich people will not be taking bulky money, in support of banks that moves money at will, in support of traders who will require a little bag to carry huge money because of this. If that is the issue, and not economic indices, it shows that there is an economy called domestic currency displacement. If you add 1,000 naira note and add with the entire currencies in the country, it shows you have displaced the poor. You are promoting inflation. You are trying to address the segment and displace the other segment. While the main segment you are displeasing may tend to constitute the majority. And we are pleasing the minority. Vices like this are traces of corruption. And I'm saying this because I want to shorten our time, because the first speaker has already dwelled on that aspect of corruption. Now, Nigeria is indeed blessed. But it is always good to look at other countries, particularly our brother states in Africa. Look at this. Today, God has given us a lot of resources, has given us manpower of brothers and sisters who are really brilliant, very resourceful. Not only in Nigeria's environment, but anywhere in the world. A source of pride indeed. But again, one may ask, are we utilizing our resources, natural and human? Now look at these 5 countries that are considered to be the poorest in Africa or in the world today. Liberia, Burundi, Somalia, Congo, DRC, and Zimbabwe. In these countries, there are vices that are retarding them backward every day. And this is the very current evaluation of performance of countries. Corruption, first of all, is endemic in these 5 countries. Greed, poor leadership, lack of vision for them to harness the God-given natural resources, lack of vision to harness the talents in their respective countries, and then promotion of process of insurgency. These 5 countries are our brothers in Africa. And in many of the activities of Nigeria, these countries are benefiting directly for them to remain afloat. But the question is, where is Nigeria's position in this? Now let's take a look at another thing before I'll come back. There are 10 countries confronted with numerous threats and lack of resources to fund some of the major challenges in the country. The then Prime Minister and Council decided to tax the Minister of Defense for this special mission. This particular Minister of Defense lacked the resources to get this done. And he sat down also from the defense side and looked at his council and insisted, yes, we have a challenge. The challenge is for Israel to remain afloat. And ours is not to go back to the leadership that has given us the direction get conducted for the country. They sat down and looked at resources available, including exhibits that I had. He fell back into the exhibits, sold them in world market, utilized the money in getting that mission done, all for Israel to be. After his retirement, the subsequent leadership of the defense came and began to look at the handling and taking over loans, and they realized that exhibits were missing. They called him back with a view to prosecute him. He said, yes, I'm available for arrest and prosecution, but I will defend myself. When they went, they realized that when the leadership of Israel gave him that mission, there was no resources to get that mission done for Israel to afloat. He used his common sense of patriotism, and utilized what is considered as wasteful exhibits and got it sold in the world market and returned the money the way it was for the survival of Israel. With that, a new national award was created, and it started with that Minister of Defense in Israel. Now, in public and private sectors, there are many dedicated sons and daughters of this country who are innovative, who are creative, who are doing a lot more to the country. You may find that at the end of the day, only those who have got further somewhere are identified and rewarded. The moment you do that, you are killing their spirit, productivity spirit, and you are partly promoting those bad eggs. When the bad egg looks precious on the surface, you identify it as being the most productive source. No, it is not. It is poison after all. Oh, yes. And I pray that this example of Israel will guide Nigerian leadership at all levels to know that productivity must be seen to be acknowledged and be rewarded. Libya shares the same thing with Iraq. ISIS, the global mission, unless it is properly united to get ISIS treated properly, in the next 20 years, the same ISIS will not be. To the challenges of the moment, and you now sit back and reflect a little and identify rough diamonds with whom you can work with. Just take a stride, take away sentiments, and give people what they desire. Oh, yes. You will be abused, you may be accused, you will be called names, give service. When tomorrow comes, the you that was abused yesterday will be the you that will. If he is the son of the poor, or if they are sons of the poor, if he is the son of the rich, if he is a prince or princesses, all they want is opportunity. God has decided to create them in that country, and there are opportunities that are found everywhere, in every affairs of any country. So when a son knows that opportunity lies everywhere for me to utilize it and do it and hinder, that patriot will produce results that will benefit humanity. Second is integrity. If he knows that his integrity is preserved as it is enshrined by law, he will take giant strides. You will see the best in him. And finally, ambition. Every son of a country, every daughter has the right to go back, retreat, look at himself or herself, and know that she has the right to ask for, and to go for, to contest for, seek for, and be complimented by institutions in that country. These three things, once they are touched, you will see the other side of citizenry. First, whosoever stops a citizen from these three opportunities, from these three issues, is actually promoting insurgency. Some are doing it consciously, some unconsciously. Some are promoting it because of greed. Some are promoting it because of corruption. Some are doing it because because they like the fanfare of the office, but the realistic tasks of the office are far away from them. So even when you push them in promoting corruption, as a few examples we have seen lately between the president and some Nigerians, I'm not mentioning them, their budget alone, yesterday, as it was in the 70s, where zeros were added, where tax were collected, but in remitting tax back to government, local authorities were taking little peanuts to get their families moved. Culminating into the 80s, where fake documents were being produced, where import licenses or racketeering were coming into the country, and where double zeros were added. Into the 90s, where corruption in the oil sector has become extremely dirty, and where the poor are denied working part. And at the end of the day, the moment it is endorsed, billionaires are created at the expense of the poor. When the debates were taking place in National Assembly, where were you when you now believe and imagine that a change will come and continue with corrupt activities the way it was? The thinking is wrong. So if you are frowning, you have granted a visa for change to come, and when you see the features of change, just follow. Endorse it. When tomorrow comes, and the benefit of the change in a place called Nigeria where corruption is absent, at least reduced to 1%. I pray, amen. In an environment where opportunities are bound for the rich and the poor, in an environment where people are secure, an environment where the poor can rise and hit to the highest office in the land without fatalism, in an environment where all promises are there for the old and young, for the rich and poor, for men and women to attend to with ease. That environment is the future Nigeria we're all looking at. I see this opportunity to say that I congratulate my fellow brothers and sisters